Hello, grade 7 students. This is day 8 of STP Mathematics 2A lesson series. If you can remember, if you have gone through the previous video, as per our schedule, today first we need to discuss the homework questions related to standard form and the ordinary numbers. If I'm not mistaken, that I ask you to do here in this exercise, question number 1 and 2, right? So everyone take your pink color pens and mark your answers, right? So you know that when we are having the homework discussions, children, you know what to do now. You want to take your pink color pen and first you watch that what teacher is doing and check whether you have got the correct answer. Sometimes you have got the correct answer, but you have not done the steps properly. In that case, what you are supposed to do, so the right side that you write down the steps in pink color. Why I'm asking you to write them in pink color later when you're going through your exercise book, you know. So this is something I wrote down after the teacher's discussion. So this is not something I did by myself. So this is from the teacher's discussion. So then how you can measure your own improvement. So with the time that if you have that less pink color things in your exercise book, that means you have done everything correctly, right? So let's say that the whole thing, it is in pink color. Don't worry. So that means you want to improve. So then the improvement can be done by yourself. The teacher can guide you, your parents can support you, but you want to do it by yourself. How to improve that? If you see that you have many pink areas in your exercise book after the teacher's discussion, that means you have done almost all the questions wrong, let's say. So don't worry, that you go through the video. So if you can't understand the theory, again, you go through the theory video and try to do it by yourself. Believe me, children, that no one can say that I can't do maths or I'm not good at maths. No such thing in this world. Everyone can do this. Only thing we want to pay attention well. And some students, they can understand at once. And some students, it's not like that. Our capabilities are different. So we want to understand our level and without having any kind of hard feeling or any kind of bad thought, any kind of negative thought. So you want to try. Try that. If you can't do it, again you try. So then maybe sometimes when you are trying 5 times, you can do that. So then that is how it works. So then we'll move to the question number. The question number here that we want to write this number as ordinary number. So then here, question number 1, if you have 3.78 multiplied by 10 to the power 3, can you remember first what we need to do? 10 times 10 times 10. So then the answer is, right, that here the answer is 1000. Okay. Then you rewrite the question 3.78 multiplied by 1000. If you can remember that we discussed, when you are multiplying a decimal number by 10, 100 and 1000, we want to move to the right side according to the number of zeros. Now here we have 1000. So that means you want to move 3 steps, but to move 3 steps, I have only 2 digits after the decimal man. So that means to move 3 steps, I should have imaginary 0 at the end. So then we write 3780.0. Then I conclude my answer 3780. See whether you have written all the steps. I know some of the students, they hate steps. Somehow they want to have the final answer. But keep this in your mind, children. You are getting ready for your final O-level exams. So then the marks will be given for each and every step. So then if you don't have that practice in the final exam, you are going to lose marks, right? So then the second one that they have given, 1.26 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 3. So what does this mean? First of all, I want to write this in positive. So then 1 over 10 to the power 3. Then I write this as 10 times 10 times 10. What does this mean? That is 1 over 1000. When you multiply something like this, 1 over 1.26 multiplied by 1 over 1000. You multiply something by 1 over 1000, simply it says 1.26, you divide by 1000. When you're dividing a decimal number by 10, 100 and 1000, according to the number of zeros, you want to move to the left side, right? The reason I'm selecting these two questions, so then I can discuss two different scenarios. When we are multiplying, what we do, and when we are dividing, what we do. Now we want to move 3 steps to the left side, but we have only one digit before the decimal. So then we want to have two imaginary zeros like this. So then here 0.00126, right? So before the decimal man that we can see only one digit, but I want to jump 3 steps. To jump 3 steps, as I have only one digit, I want to have two imaginary zeros in the front. So then it is 0.00126. Hope it is clear. Pause the video, copy down the steps if you have not done it correctly. So then I'll move to the next two questions. So then it is from this area. You want to convert these ordinary numbers into standard form. So there I ask you to do question number 14 and 15. So then question number 14, what we are supposed to do, children, that we write the original number 4,060,000. So this is the number. Then when you have such a big number, what I have asked you to do, write this number as a decimal. How? So then 4,060,000.0. Then it's easier for you to bring this decimal man to the corner, the left side corner. So then we keep one digit and then we put the decimal and we write 0.6000000. How many steps I came? From here you want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 to the power of 6. Do you want to keep this much of the zeros at the end? No, no point. But here we want to show it. When you are concluding the answer, we write 4.06 10 to the power of 6. Right? No need to write all zeros that when you are concluding the answer. Then question number 15, that it is a kind of a smaller number compared to the 14th one. 704, that but we want to follow the same thing, 704.0, and then I write the first digit, put the decimal, and then I write the rest. How many steps I had to move from here? 1, 2, 10 to the power of 2. So then no need of keeping this 0. Therefore, I conclude my answer 7.04 10 to the power of, right? So again, check whether your answers are correct. If not, pause the video and copy down, or else you go back and watch it again. So then the next one here, I ask you to do question number 16. Then I ask you to do 31 and 35, right? We'll do one by one. Now here, children, that question number 16, that we have 0.026. This is an ordinary number, right? Ordinary numbers can be whole numbers and decimals. Decimals can be the decimals which are more than 1, like question number 31. Some decimals are less than 1, like question number 16 and 35. So then here, what we need to do, we want to write a number in between 1 and 10. So then I write this as 2.6. To write this, how many steps I had to move from here, that I had to move 2 steps, but this should be -2. Why? This is a decimal number and you are converting it into the standard form and you move to the right side. So then you moved 2 steps, therefore it should be -2, right? And then we'll take question number 31. 31, it is a decimal, but it is more than 1, 79.3. So then I write it as 7.93 10 to the power of +1. Now you can see, I'll do the next one and I explain that the theory you want to understand here. 0.0705. Then I write 7.05 10 to the power of -2. Children, can you see all these three numbers are decimals? I told you two types of numbers we do have here in this scenario. We consider the standard form numbers and the ordinary numbers. Ordinary numbers, we do have two types, whole numbers and decimals. Decimals, again, we do have in two forms, the decimals which are less than 1, decimals which are more than 1. If you come across with a decimal number which is less than 1, when you convert it into standard form, keep this in your mind, always we get 10 to the power of negative something. If you're dealing with the decimal number which is more than 1, so you get the 10 to the power of positive value, right? So that is how it works. Okay, children. So then that is all about the standard form and the ordinary numbers. Now I am moving to, we have another 8 minutes. I think I'll be able to discuss the next theory area. Therefore, please take your theory books and put the date. Write down the subtopic, approximations, whole numbers. That's the new subtopic today we are going to discuss. Approximations, whole numbers. Approximations, whole numbers. We have discussed this in grade 6, but not in kind of the deeper level, but this time that we are going to discuss in a deeper level, right? So then we have discussed this in book 1 also, the approximation to the nearest 10, 100, surrounding them all. But here that we are going to do a little bit deeper one, how it works. So then you just imagine that this is the question you have, right? This is the question you have. What you want to do in your theory book, first of all, you write down this question. This one, that which you can see, take the blue color pen and you write down this question first of all. Then I will tell you what to do. In your theory book, right? This is an example. All the examples and theory we copy down in your theory book now. So then you first write down this. Pause the video, write down this question. Now, children, when you are writing the answer, let's say this is question number 1. Now you want to write the answer now. Now I am showing how you are going to write the answer. You put the question number and you write A, because that the A part, they have asked you to round off this number to the nearest 10. If it is so, you write down the question that the number, underline the tens place. Underline the tens place. You look at the next number, okay? If that next number is less than 5, like this, listen to me carefully. If that the next number less than 5, what you can do, you just write that approximation. It is not the equal sign. You just write 1,850 like this. Up to this, you write as it is. Nothing changed. Why? The last digit, it is less than 5. So then the last one, you keep it as 0 and you write inside the bracket nearest 10. Okay. 1,853 approximately equal to 1,850 to the nearest 10. That is how we want to read this in words, right? Now I'm moving to part B. Part B also we have the same thing, but the treatment we want to do is different. What is the treatment here, children? They have asked us to round off this number to the nearest 100. In that case, we underline the 100 place, right? We underline the hundreds place and look at the next number. If the next number 5 or more than 5, we add 1. To where we add 1? To the underlined number. I repeat, you underline the 100 place or maybe the tens place, whatever the number they have told, 10, 100 or 1,000, you underline that place value. Then you look at the next number. When you look at the next number, if it is less than 5, we don't do anything. We just write the digits as it is up to the underline station, right? If it is 5 or more than 5, we add 1 to where we add 1 to the underline number. Here, what is the underline number, children? So that is 8. So then I add 1. So that becomes 9, right? Then the next 2 digits will be 0, right? And here I write nearest 100. Nearest 100. Right? I'll show you another pattern here, right? After discussing everything. So then the third one, 1853. Then this time I want to round off this to the nearest 1000. I underline the 1000 place. Look at the next number. If the next number is 5 or more than 5, we add 1 to where we add 1? To the underlying number. That underlying number here, it is 1. That becomes 2. The rest of the digits will be 0. And here I write nearest 1000. Now you just see, children, when you correct something to the nearest 10, at the end you have only 1 0. When you correct something to the nearest 100, you have 2 zeros. When you correct something to the nearest 1000, you have 3 zeros, right? Hope it is clear. Copy down this, and I want to discuss another. Yeah, I think it's better to take another value like this. Wait. I'll take this number. So then the same thing you want to do, right? I'll take question. This is question number 2, let's say. So then you write round off 5,983 to part A, the nearest 10. Right? Nearest 10. Part B to the nearest. This is the question, right? Nearest 1000. And part C, the nearest. Oh, sorry, this should be nearest 100 and nearest 1000. Let's say this is the question. Now you want to write the answer. No? You put I'll write the answer in a different color, but you don't want to do, you write everything in blue color, right? So then to show you clearly that I write it, I write 5,983 and the approximation sign. Here to the nearest 10, like this. Look at the next number. The next number is less than 5. If it is less than 5, I'm not supposed to do anything. I just write 5, 9, 8 as it is. At the end, I have 0 and I write nearest 10. Okay. Then part B. I write the same number 5,983, approximation. This time I underline the 100 place. Look at this carefully. This is a little bit different. So this is the 100 place. I look at the next number. When I look at the next number, right? When I look at the next number, it is more than 5. It is more than 5. When it is more than 5, what we are supposed to do, children? We want to add 1. To where we need to add 1? To the underlying number. Okay? To the underlying number. So then when I add 1 to the underlying number here, 9, that becomes 10. So then I can't write 10 here. Instead, I write 0. And that 1, I add to 5 and write it as 6. Then the rest of the digits are 0. Right? So then here I write nearest 100. Right? Then the C1, look at this, 5,983 approximately equal to this one. sorry, look at the next number. It is more than 5. If it is more than 5, what we are supposed to do? We want to add 1. To where we need to add 1 to the underlying number. So that is 6. The rest of the digit is. Now I want to show you something. Right. Early example I told you, when you correct it to the approximate, that nearest 10, 100 and 1000, based on that you can see the equal number of zeros. If it is nearest 10, you can see 1 0. If it is 100, you can see 00. So then the 000, that I told something like that. But here I showed you an exception. So then here the nearest 10, you have 1 0. For the nearest 100 and nearest 1000, in both the cases, we get the same answer, 6000. Don't worry, that doesn't mean that you have got the answer in a wrong way. So this should be the way. Hope it is clear. So then what you're supposed to do, children, as the homework, you want to do question numbers 1. So you want to do ABC, that the same way what we did here. Then 7, 12, 11, 12, those 4 questions. Shall I give you one more to have, this one? Okay, 1, 4, 7, 11, 12. So do these 5 sums. Next day we will meet again, right? And discuss the homework. And after that, we want to move to these kind of word problems, how we can deal with these kind of word problems. So with the approximations, then we are moving to approximations decimals. So you are moving along this journey, children. Keep this in your mind that if you follow this very well, before you go to school in September, you have learned a lot. So then you can stand out among everyone in the class, and you can help your teacher too. Why? That when she is asking a question, easily you can give the answer because you know the concept well, you have practiced the sums well, right? So then that will be a fantastic experience for you all. Okay, children, we'll meet again next day. Until then, stay safe. So this is day 8, STP Mathematics 2-8 lesson series.